Hutchinson. Welcome to Nelson Today. Well, as you know, we're getting into the holiday season, Christmas and New Year's, and this program's a little bit about old traditions and new traditions. Tonight I'm going to start with a new tradition to Nelson, and probably like a really new tradition to many, many towns in North America right now. With me in the studio tonight is Judith Ceroli from Theatre Energy. There's a big new project going on in town for New Year's Eve, right?
Right.
Okay. It's called First Light. And it's the first time that the city of Nelson is going to participate in this project. So I'm going to go right to Judith now, and we're going to start talking about First Light and just, well, what exactly is First Light, Judith?
Well, First Light, excuse me, is Nelson's very own alcohol-free family New Year's Eve event. Somewhat modeled after First Night, which people may have heard about that's happening in other communities in North America. Mm-hmm. But this is Nelson's very own version of the same kind of thing.
Okay, like I know they started it in Vancouver a few years ago, and it swelled, I mean, to hundreds of thousands of people.
Very popular, yeah.
Right, come out to First Night in Vancouver. There's musicians and crafts people and lots of people donating time and money to this event to promote like an alcohol-free family event for New Year's Eve, other than something, well, much more traditional than we've had in North America, at least, where we all get together in parties or bars and we drink ourselves silly, and by the time Old Lang Syne comes around, some people are underneath the table and some people are not, but that's been sort of the tradition. Maybe later on we'll talk about a couple of other First Nights or New Year's Eve that have been in our experience. I've just thought of this now, that maybe meant something a bit different to us, but we'll continue on right now with First Light. Now, why is it First Light in Nelson and not First Night?
It's not First Night because First Night is a copyrighted name. My understanding is that it was originated in Boston. Mm-hmm. And in order to use the name First Night, we would have to go through this whole process of applying for copyright, and there simply wasn't lead time. We were became involved in this in about mid-October. Mm-hmm. And we saw that we had to get going, and we just didn't have time. And there was also a little feeling, this is sponsored by the Community on Substance Abuse, CASA Task Force, and they and we in Theatre Energy felt like we would just like to do Nelson's very own thing. Right. So not becoming First Night, we don't get to use the name. We don't get to use their graphic package. We had to create our own graphic package, which with all the artists here, we thought we were totally capable of doing that.
Right.
Some of their emphasis is somewhat different than ours, given that we didn't have a budget and we didn't have a lead time. And we're just doing Nelson's
own.
Nelson's very own. Right. One of the features of First Night in the bigger cities is a multi-venue event where people buy one ticket, and that entitles them to go to maybe 20 or 30 different places in the city and see all sorts of different arts and that sort of thing, you know. And again, there wasn't time to put that kind of event together, and there wasn't time to hire that many different artists, dancers, painters, actors, theater groups, that kind of thing. So we are doing, excuse me, a sort of a multi-event concept, but we're under one roof.
Okay.
So we're doing it all in the Civic Arena and the Badminton Hall, and there'll be lots of different things happening, but you won't have to go out and put on your boots and walk around town.
So what time is it going to start then?
Starts at 7 o'clock on New Year's Eve.
Okay.
With events from 7 to 9:30 for small children all the way from teeny tiny tots.
Right.
Right straight on through. There'll be ice skating in the hockey arena with, you know, good music to skate by.
Oh, yeah.
And good skaters to skate with.
Are you getting one of the figure skating clubs involved, or is that?
One of the figure skating clubs is considering being involved. They haven't confirmed yet, but they're
Okay.
very interested in the idea. And there's a young hockey skater named Shandy Mowry who's agreed to come in his uniform and be on the ice. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun in, you know, just the skating part of it. In the badminton hall, the West Kootenai Family Daycare Society is providing activities for children. They say from 0 to 7. I don't know, from 0 to 1. I don't know how many paper hats they can make from 0 to 1. But
Right, yeah.
but they're going to be making paper hats and doing face painting and arts and craft kind of things on the
yeah.
mezzanine. There'll be pinball machines for teenagers and
Really?
and lots of surprise kind of events in the badminton hall itself with jugglers and storytellers, and
Really?
yeah, it's going to be really fun.
So what's the time of that then?
That will be happening from 7 till 9:30.
So we've got simultaneously, you know, skating going on in the hockey arena, and inside in the badminton hall there'll be other events like face painting and jugglers and pinball machines and who knows.
Storytellers and who knows.
What
Yeah, I'm not
else?
going to tell you everything because
Okay.
I think people will be really surprised. I want
Okay.
people to be really surprised when they come.
Okay, so that goes till about 9
Till
o'clock.
about 9:30.
9:30,
Then at
okay.
9:30, Street Easy comes on. They're a good boogie rock band.
All right.
And they'll be lit by, and we'll all be dazzled by, the Liquid Light Show.
Right, I've seen them.
Have you seen them? I haven't seen them, but I hear they're fabulous.
No, they're very good. I'll just put this as a quick aside. As you know, I have another hat. This is my hat for
Is that
tonight. This is my,
the writer's hat? Are we speaking of the
no,
writer's hat?
this is the Oasis Productions hat that, you know, puts on events.
Oh,
And
that's right. You're
that's,
all, yes, right.
That's right. So we did an alien, first annual alien convention, basically, and Liquid Lights did the light show for that. And it is a very, very good light show. I mean,
I bet it is.
it is. I mean, it's a huge screen. It takes you kind of back to the 60s, I confess that I have.
I don't recall myself.
Only maybe 3.5 at the time. Anyway, that's not really true. But yeah, you know, you've seen those documentaries, right, on the 60s?
Yes, I've seen it on documentaries.
Yeah. But anyway, they do a really great light show. And I don't know, from what I've read of publicity, I don't know if they've got a few new tricks up their sleeves for this particular event. I do know that they like to, you know, do something special for whatever the event is. And so they'll have, you know, that's Marty Lewis and the gang out in Winlaw, I think.
I know the people. I know the people
Yeah.
very well, and I've worked with Marty before.
Right.
And play bridge with with Karen Mansfield, one of the Liquid Light people.
Uh-huh.
But I haven't seen their show, and I know that they're very creative people, and they'll have lots of surprises.
Oh, they are. By the end of the night, their arms, I mean, their hands and their arms up to here are just dyes. I mean, very dark and dyes, and all the way up to here. It's just they really get into their work, you know. And no, it's a great show, and it's a really wonderful show. So in combination with Street Easy, I'm sure that's going to be lots of fun.
And then we have two other bands who are doing intermission music, so there will be
great.
non-stop music. Fran Lamb and Steve Bale are doing a folk set.
Okay.
And then, and why do I always forget the name of this band? I apologize, you guys. It's Paul Picorni,
The Picorni,
Peter Picorni,
yeah.
Rita Landsberg. I have this
yeah.
all written down very well somewhere. And Peter Volbeck.
Right.
And they do a kind of rhythm and blues
That's
set.
right.
And they'll be on from midnight to 12:30.
Uh-huh. I've heard, I'll just give you some input here. I've heard the Picorni brothers, that's in my mind. Anyway, by the way, Paul Picorni's other hat is lighting technician and designer at the Capitol Theatre. Very talented family.
Brilliant family.
Very
yeah.
brilliant, and his brothers work there too. Terry is an actor, does acting, and is a musician, of course. And Rita is a dynamite lead singer and anyway, without the two Picordi brothers had a band in Nanaimo called Ivan and the Terribles.
Ah.
Yeah, which was a really, I've got a tape of them, and it's a really funky blues bar band. It's real deep kind of rock and roll twist, you know.
Well, I think there's really going to be something for everyone.
Oh, there's going to be.
That was our idea, as much as we can under one roof, to try to provide lots of variety and lots of something for everyone, so that teenagers can have a good time, and so can their folks, and so can the little kids.
Right.
And really, families can come
Right.
and all have a good time.
Right, and I should just, I've got to put in a plug for Fran Lamb too, because
Oh, yeah.
he's done so much.
So consistently good.
He's very consistently good. He's done a lot for the community.
Yeah.
He's a beautiful songwriter, dynamite performer. He really puts out on stage
he
too.
does.
Yeah. And so I think this sounds like a really fun night of
I
entertainment
think it's
that
going
way.
to be fabulous.
Yeah. No, that will be.
There'll also be food and things to drink, no alcohol.
Okay.
But the graduating class of 91 from LVR is doing a mocktail bar.
Great.
So there'll be fancy drinks, and they get to raise a little money to help them do their dry grad in the spring.
Oh, good. So this sounds like a very, I mean, it's a great community event.
Yeah, lots of people are involved, and the response is fabulous, Heather. It's really fun to do this job, because now already people are calling me and saying, what can I do to help? People know about it. We've gotten off to a late start, and so we haven't had much press, actually, just because it's taken a while to get the machine in motion, you know.
Right.
And yet the word of mouth is fabulous. People know about it.
Yeah.
They're talking about it. They're excited about it. Everybody that I've talked to thinks it's a wonderful idea, and what can I do to help, and how can I get involved in, oh, this is great, and oh, darn, I'm not going to be in town, I'll have to miss it. But meanwhile, here's, you know, so it's being really neat to be involved in, because the response is just really exciting. Nelson's excited about this.
Oh, it is. No, it's, I mean, this is a very community-oriented town.
It sure is.
There's not enough done in this town for teenagers at this point. At this point, there is an impetus beginning to happen now with talk about doing a teen center, for example. And I think that this is a really good idea. I'm very glad to hear that LVR is involved in this.
Yeah.
There is a great core group of students up there who are very, very creative. Are you getting stagecraft involved in this?
Actually, I think the stagecraft classes are being involved both at Trafalgar and LVR in helping us build the decorations. The decoration side of the room is being handled by Michael Graham, who currently works at the Capitol Theater with that new fabulous costume collection that they got from Norma Vecchio.
That's right.
So he's working on that, and he's a real creative, energetic fella.
Yes, he is.
And he is totally in charge of what the room is going to look like.
He'll do a wonderful job.
And he will do a wonderful job. And Paul Picorni will light it and be the sound tech. So we'll have.
Oh, is that right?
We'll have the best lighting and the best sound. We are going to have the best show in town.
Oh, I think so.
For a long time. And the Civic people are wonderful to work with.
Yeah.
It's the Cadillac of venues.
Right.
I do a lot of theater producing, and we're in and out of a lot of theaters around the province. And the Civic is fabulous. They have everything you want.
Right.
And they have a full staff, and they're totally cooperative, and they know how to do it.
Yes.
They know what an event of this scope means, what it requires, what is available. If they don't have it, they know where to borrow it, and they're right there to do it.
Yeah.
And it's wonderful dealing with them. Peter Kozak and Bill Stack is the maintenance man.
Right. Bernie Zimmerman is also very good to work with. I've worked with these fellows too, and they are very, very, very much behind anything of this ilk that you do. Very cooperative.
Really?
Yeah.
It's
great
very
bunch.
pleasant. Very supportive. I mean, I know way less about what I'm doing than they do.
Oh, yeah.
And they're so helpful, and it's been wonderful.
Oh, that's great. So this is going to go to about 2 o'clock in the morning with the dancing and anything special lined up for midnight sort of type of thing? You're gonna...
I'm not going to tell. But
you're supposed to tell this stuff, aren't you?
Midnight, of course something special is going to happen at midnight. It's the beginning of the new light.
Yeah, that's right.
So something special will definitely happen at midnight, but I'm not going to tell.
You're going to have to go.
You have to come and see. You have to come and see.
Okay. So now, all right, so what's the cost on this going to be for participants? Can you run me down
The
that?
tickets are $10 for adults.
Does that get you into
That gets you into the door, and once you're in the door, everything is free, except what you eat.
Okay.
The food and the consumables are not free, but all activities are free once you're inside the door.
So you can go skating or go to the dance or, right?
Right.
Okay.
Have your portrait drawn,
All right.
watch the clowns, make hats, play
Okay.
pinballs. All of it's free once you're in the door.
You can play pinball for free?
Free pinballs, yeah.
Oh boy. I hope you have lots of pinball machines.
And free balloons, for sure.
All right, okay.
Okay, so $10 for adults,
Mm-hmm.
$7 for students and seniors,
Now a student is,
12 to, well, a student is somebody who's in school.
so that could you be a Selkirk College
You could be a
student?
Selkirk College student and qualify as a student.
Okay.
That's right. And
All
you
right.
could be a 65-year-old. Well, in that case, you're both a senior
Senior.
and a student, so I
Does that
shouldn't
give you a
confuse it.
double discount?
You could be a 43-year-old Selkirk College student and qualify as a student.
Okay, all right.
And then seniors is the same price, $7.
Okay.
And ages 6 to 12 is $5.
Mm-hmm.
And ages 5 and down are free.
Oh, great.
So I think it's reasonable for a family.
Yeah, that's reasonable. That's very reasonable. Yeah. So it sounds like a great lineup of people and,
All of Nelson's talent, the ones that aren't going to be out of town, will be there.
yeah.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Now what night is that
And
night?
it's Monday. Actually,
It's a
I had to
Monday
look
night.
at the calendar the other day myself. What day is this? It's Monday night.
Okay, it's Monday night.
The 31st.
December 31st. Okay, all right. So before we wrap this up, is there anything else in particular you want to say or about this particular
Well, I really
event, or-
feel like I really want this to be a big success, and I'm sure it will be. I have no doubt that this is going to be a big success.
Uh-huh.
And I also fondly hope that it's Nelson's first
Right.
light, and that next year there's enough time and a little bit more money
Right.
to do it upright.
Uh-huh.
And so our hope is that we're fundraising frantically, of course, to cover the expenses that there are.
Uh-huh.
And our hope is that the fundraising will exceed the expenses, and we can leave a little money in a term account
Sure.
and a little seed for next year. And maybe there'll be a couple hundred hats left over and a few tickets and some balloons. So there'll be a little seed at the end of this for next year's, maybe it'll be next year's second light, or maybe it'll be the second annual first light.
Sure.
And it'll be a real tradition in this town. Because I think people really want to celebrate holidays with their families.
Yeah.
And it's time now that we start being together on holidays.
So, yes. So I just want to ask you this. So right now, is it being funded by, how is this being funded?
It's being funded by the Community on Substance Abuse. I don't know why their name is so long-handled that there seems to be no shortcut. I call them the task force.
Uh-huh.
It's being funded by them, and they're funded by BC Alcohol and Drug Programs, and I believe that they started with $3,000. And so there's not a lot of money to go
Right.
around.
And are you soliciting funding at this point, too?
We are soliciting funding from every aspect of Nelson. I'm sure there isn't anybody in Nelson that hasn't seen a letter asking for small donations. We're asking for a very small amount from a whole lot of people.
Right.
So that everybody can become involved to whatever extent they're capable of being involved. Nobody more than they can do, you know.
Right.
But everybody a little bit. So it becomes Nelson's very own community-owned
Right.
event.
Okay.
It's not funded from outside in the great wide world. This is ours.
Right. And it's coming together very, very quickly.
Very quickly.
By the time you see this program, there will be less than 2 weeks. Yes, that's right. There will be 2 weeks, folks. So,
So get your tickets. Cutlers,
okay.
Stewart's, and what's the third one? Oliver's Books,
okay.
and the Winlaw Mini March in
Okay.
Winlaw, and Carl's Drugs in Castlegar, and at the door.
Okay, at the door. Okay.
At the door.
All right, that's what I wanted to know. Okay, Judith, we have to go now.
Thanks, Heather.
Thank you for coming very, very much. I hope you out there can come to First Light. It's a It's truly a Nelson event happening December 31st at the Civic Centre, starting at 7 o'clock at night and going until 2 o'clock in the morning. This is a challenge to all you little kids out there. Can you stay up? And all you grown-ups too. Okay, I'm going to sign off right now for just this part of the show before I introduce my next guest. Thank you very much for coming, Judith.
Thank you, Heather. It's my pleasure.
Thank you. All right. Back again. We started this program with a new tradition, First Light in Nelson, and now we're going to go to a very old tradition, the singing of Handel's Messiah. The city of Nelson is very privileged to have its own choral group, and that usually performs twice a year, once at Christmas and once at Easter. This year they're going to be performing Handel's Messiah. The bit of the tape that you just heard was the same group, well, maybe not exactly the same group, singing Handel's Messiah in 1979, accompanied by orchestra. I don't think it was called the Selkirk Chamber Orchestra then, but what I'm going to do right now is just go to my guest, Barbara Cooch, who's with the Nelson Choral Society, and get some of my facts straight. Hi, Barbara, how are you doing?
Good, thanks.
That's great. How long have you been with the Nelson Choral Society?
Oh, I've been trying to think that out. I think it must have been about 79 that I started.
Oh, it was?
Like off and on. I missed a season here or there, but mainly. And back then we had about 75 members.
Mm-hmm.
And that
75?
Yeah. So it was a big crowd. And that year Nancy Herberson was singing the soprano lead.
Uh-huh.
Who's now Nancy Argenta, of course.
Right. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
So it was a big night. I say a lot of the members are still there from that. At that time, Bruce Hunter was directing it.
Right.
Okay.
And so this year you're going to sing Handel's Messiah again, this time in the Capitol Theatre on, can you just give me the dates on that?
Yeah, it's going to be December 15th, which is Saturday, and that'll be at 8 o'clock.
Uh-huh.
And then Sunday at 2 p.m. on the 16th.
On Sunday at 2 p.m. on
Yeah.
the 16th, and that's going to be at the Capitol Theatre?
That's right.
Okay, great.
And you can get tickets there that night, or there's other outlets that you can get them at too.
Oh, you better tell me that right now.
Okay. Okay, there's Cutler's News, Stewart's News, Maple Leaf All-Star, what's it called? All-Star Replay, I think it's called.
Where's that?
And I think that's the store at the mall, is it? I'm not sure. It was on the...
Okay, so down at the mall, you get tickets on the mall.
Okay, and also from the choir members. We can all give them.
Okay.
Okay.
And what's the cost on this going to be? We'll just
Okay,
get this
it'll
out
be
of the way.
$7 for adults.
Okay.
And for students and seniors, it's $5.
Okay. So it's going to be performed at the Capitol Theatre, the Nelson Choral Society singing Handel's Messiah, accompanied by the Selkirk Chamber Orchestra.
That's right.
Okay. Now, last year I saw both performances of your choir, once at Christmas and then at Easter, and I remember very, very well at Easter when you did sing with the orchestra. It was very lovely. It was at St. Paul's Church then, I believe.
Yeah, I think that's where we did that one. I think we did one at the Capitol and one at the
Right.
St.
You did
Paul's.
you did the Christmas concert at the Capitol, and then this one at St. Paul's, the Easter one. But what I want to get into now just a little bit is this music itself of Handel's Messiah. I mean, it's part of the Christian heritage now, I think, anyway. It's one of the most beautiful pieces of music for Christmas, and it's a shame sometimes, you think, when you hear all these Christmas music that you couldn't hear it at all times of the year, because it's very, very, very beautiful. Can you just give me some background on Handel and the Messiah?
Well, it was first performed in 1742, I think it was, in Dublin.
In Dublin?
Yeah. I was surprised at that, too. And it took 24 days to compose it. It's about a 3-hour, the whole thing is about 3 hours. We won't be doing the whole thing.
About how long will your concert go about?
I'm not, it's usually about an hour and a half that we do.
Okay, so you're about half, you're half.
Yeah, we do the first half, which is usually called the Christmas part, and then we're going to do a couple other pieces.
Uh-huh.
Like the Hallelujah chorus, of course, you can't miss that.
Right, yeah.
And that's about, I mean, I don't know why he wrote it or anything else, or but I read that it's one of the most performed oratorios of all composers.
Oh,
So
that's beautiful.
Yeah.
I think that's why, and I know in many towns it's become a tradition. I used to live in California, and San Francisco. They used to do it at the symphony, and with the whole chorus and the
Every
orchestra.
Christmas, or
Every Christmas,
yeah,
and
yeah.
you'd sing Handel's Messiah, and it'd be the Handel's Messiah
Yeah.
sing-along. Now, I don't know, are you going to do a sing-along sort of type of thing with this, or this is going to be strictly a performance?
This will be strictly a performance. We usually have a couple carols or whatever that people can join in with at the end, but the main performance is without audience or anything, without sing-along.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
And, all right, and I just want to ask you a couple other quick questions here, too, is how long has the Nelson Choral Society been together?
Well, I figure it's about 14 years. Let's see, it was started in 1976, by Estelle Jorgensen. She was a doctor, I think, at the DTUC University, taught there. And in 77, Bruce Hunter took over, and then he taught and did it all till 1989. And then Vic Neufeld, which is the conductor now. And
Vic's a teacher
he's a teacher, yeah, at L.V. Rogers.
and teaches German, right?
I'm not sure. I'm embarrassed to say.
Do you know your conductor?
Yeah, I know.
Here's a fact for you that
Well, he's been in the orchestra. Usually he plays the violin, so
Yeah, I
it's
knew
quite
he
a
had a-
change for him too, I
Yeah.
would say.
he had a strong musical background. Well,
Yeah.
do you know who's going to be conducting the orchestra this time? Or?
Well, he conducts everybody.
Oh, okay, so it's,
yeah.
all right.
And I talked to a couple of people from the orchestra just to see what was going on with them and everything, and they went this past weekend to Cranbrook, and they did the Messiah there with the Kootenai Chamber Orchestra,
Oh, yeah.
and a few of them are members of that.
Uh-huh.
I guess it's quite a big thing.
Right.
And then there's Wendy Hamper. She has all her students, and a few of them are going to be in the concert.
So this will be quite a. So how many members do you have in the choral society now?
Right now it's 55. So
55.
we've dropped a bit, but it's still a nice big group.
Right, and you've got
Yeah.
quite a few men this time. I mean, I know.
Yeah, more than usual.
Haha.
We now have some women tenor.
Oh, you do.
Yeah, so that's kind of added to them.
Well,
'Cause for a while we only had like 3 tenors or so.
Yeah, it's hard to get good tenors, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
Actually,
hard to get men.
You've heard it here first. Don't we all know this is true? It's hard to get a good man.
Yeah, right.
This is only happening in the Kootenays or wherever anyway. Anyway, men that love to sing, right?
That's right.
Yeah, that's funny.
Well, I can't drag my husband out no matter what, so.
Does he sing?
No.
He doesn't, not even in
I
the-
go out dancing, he won't join me, I go out singing. Right.
Well, anyways, well, maybe we should just put this out right now, too, that any singing group, and the Nelson Choral Society in particular in this town, is always looking for good men.
Well, anybody can come. Anybody is interested in singing. I mean, that's why we go.
Yeah.
Because we love singing.
Okay, so
So you don't have to read music or anything, just come and enjoy.
okay, great.
Yeah.
So yeah, because otherwise, no, I've been in different concert groups before too, and I notice it's just usually harder to get men to come out to these things.
Yeah. I say the dancing too.
Oh, right,
Never
yeah.
enough men or,
Yeah.
yeah,
But singing is a wonderful outlet. It's beautiful.
yeah.
Okay, so I'm glad to hear that we can probably all sing along a little bit on a couple of Christmas carols, at
Yeah,
least
that
on this.
Kind of helps ads do it
Yeah.
sometimes.
So we've got 55 members in the choir
Yeah.
singing along. And then, do you know how many members there are in the orchestra?
No, I don't.
know.
I'm sorry.
I know there's at least 15 to
Yeah.
20. It seems
It's
to me that I
about that.
remember.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
Mhm.
So they're not too active right now, they said.
Yeah.
They were directed by Bob Eddy, so
Yeah.
they're going to try and become more so. They're all in other activities as far as music's concerned. And
Uh-huh. Yeah.
it's good, and I say they really try to support the students.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, so I'll just recap here just before I say...
Do you want the soloist or?
Sure. Tell
I
me,
don't know.
who's the soloist? Yeah.
Well, I better remember now. Eh?
Yeah, that's right, now that you've
okay,
prompted me.
there's Irene Funk and Sandy Jeffs. There's the sopranos.
Okay.
Okay, Beryl DeJersey. She's the alto. She's also going to become our new president.
Okay.
Before that was Dorothy Wesnedge. This will be her last year doing that.
Uh-huh.
And tenor is Tim Javesky. I hope I got that right.
Yeah.
And Tim Spencer is the bass.
All right. Okay. So that's coming up. Let's just recap here. It's Saturday and Sunday, the
15th and 16th.
15th and 16th at the Capitol Theater, 8 o'clock on Saturday night and 2 p.m. on Sunday,
That's right.
right? $7 for adults
Mm-hmm.
and,
$5 for students and seniors.
okay, and is the student anyone in school at all? Or
Yeah,
is
I would
anyone
say
in
so.
school?
Yeah.
Okay. So you could be a Selkirk student or a CIC student or
Or whatever.
whatever. Student of
Yeah.
life, does that pass?
Well, we all that.
We're all
But not
that.
quite.
Okay. All right. So I've been talking to Barbara Cooch from Nelson Choral Society. That's another event that's coming up for this Christmas. So we've got two events. I mean, I know that there's a lot more out there. All the schools are going to be having their different events. You know, stay tuned to your local calendars to see what's going to happen with those things. There's a lot of Christmas events. And if you've got time, or no, it's not even if you've got time, but the Salvation Army is always willing to take your donation, especially at this time of year, for food hampers and whatever else you can do. So I just want to wish you all out there now. First, I'll just say good night to you, Barbara. I hope you all have a successful sing there on the
Yeah.
15th and 16th. And
I just want to say come.
yeah, and come and
here.
enjoy. Right, come and enjoy in here, and then maybe you'll like it so much you're going to want
Right.
to join and sing along at Easter time too. It's a lovely program then too. So I just want to say good night to you all now, and wish you all a very Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's, and greetings of the seasons from everyone here at Shaw Cable. From myself, I know there'll be another program next week, but I get my 2 cents worth in now. Have a very, very good, happy, healthy holiday season. Thank you. And that's it.
Hello, my name is Maury Zaitlin, editor of the Nelson Daily News. We're pleased to be assisting with Shaw Cable and KBS Radio in the Care and Share Christmas Hamper Telethon December 16th in Nelson Trail and Castlegar. Remember those less fortunate at Christmas time and have your food and toy donations ready for pickup or deliver them to your local outlet. We are proud to distribute 17,000 bags that will be needed for your Christmas donations.